Welcome to StartCooking.com. I'm Kathy Maister. Onions, onions, and more onions. That's what you're going to need to make French onion soup. The list of the other ingredients and equipment will be at the end of this video. The hardest part of making this recipe is peeling and slicing all those onions. If onions make you cry, stick them in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes before you start slicing. That will help. You could use a knife to make really thin slices, or a mandolin. No, not the musical instrument. This mandolin is sometimes called a V-slicer. It's really sharp and will slice the 1 1/2 pounds of onions we need for this recipe very quickly. Once the onions are sliced, we're ready to turn the stove on and start cooking. In a Dutch oven, which is a big heavy pot with a lid, melt 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter with 3 tablespoons of olive oil and 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. Add the onions and cook them over low heat for about 15 to 20 minutes. Every few minutes, give them a stir and keep cooking them until they've turned a lovely golden brown. Now, gradually stir in 6 cups of beef stock. Bring the pot to a boil and then lower the heat and cover the pot. Gently simmer the soup for about an hour. While the soup is cooking, slice the French bread and put it on a baking sheet with sides. Toast both sides of the bread under the broiler. When the soup is cooked, stir in 1/2 teaspoon of Dijon mustard and 4 tablespoons of brandy, which is traditional but optional. Give it a taste to see if it needs any salt and freshly ground pepper. To assemble the soup, place the oven-proof soup bowls on a baking sheet with sides. Ladle the hot soup into the bowls and top each serving with 1 or 2 or even 3 slices of toasted French bread or a handful of croutons. Lay 1 to 3 slices of Swiss cheese on top of the bread. Put the tray of soup under the broiler and melt the cheese until it's golden brown and bubbly. Serve this piping hot French onion soup immediately. Enjoy! For the ingredients you will need onions, unsalted butter, olive oil, sugar, beef stock, brandy, Dijon mustard, salt, black pepper, French bread or croutons, and Swiss cheese. For the equipment you'll need a cutting board, a kitchen knife, a bread knife, measuring spoons, liquid measuring cup, a spatula, a baking sheet with sides, a Dutch oven or a large pot with a cover, oven-proof soup bowls, a ladle, and for optional equipment, a mandolin.